Right guys, Matt and Oscar checking in, and so today I'm going to give you the rundown on that East Kilbride incident and what happened there. What I'm going to do is, rather than try and go through it and remember what happened as it did, I've got an email I wrote to the Chief Inspector in Livingstone. So I've got that up and I'm going to read through it because that pretty much covers everything as it happened. That way I'm not missing anything out. So I'm going to read you through that, and then I've got some information on the CCTV that requested, where they locked us in the red hot car and left us there. I got a response back from that, not quite what I was hoping. I've got a feeling they're trying to wiggle out of it, so I'll let you look at the response and you can draw your own conclusions from that. So right, this is it. I'll rather than just pointing you at a blurred screen, I'll let you have a look at Oscar having a nap while I read it out for you. So just let me pop you there. At least you can watch him and falling asleep or pulling any faces he might pull. Right, so I'm going to read it out. So this email says, "Dear Chief Constable, I'm writing with regards to an unfortunate incident that happened at East Kilbride, June this year. For a living, I take photographs of map patrol cars and post them on Google with regards to the appropriate station, with or without a review, depending if I meet anyone. My photos have had 1.7 million views. Please see the links below." And there's some links for him so we can have a look to see all the views that they've had, that I'm not actually making it up. Right, so it says, "I've had two pleasant encounters en route. At Hamilton, where the PC that spoke to me thought I was taking photos of the police cars because they were parked on double yellow lines. After explaining that this was not the case, he said, 'Oh good, so you don't want to make a complaint then?' To which I replied, 'No, I'm not that petty, but maybe move it before someone else does complain, because you know what people are like.' And then after that we had a pretty friendly chat and we parted ways." There's a video of this interaction on my phone. They've still got my phone, by the way. Right, anyway, Lockerbie was also nice, meeting a few PCs, explained what we were doing, and all was good. Even went in and showed the lady on the counter my phone and had a chat with her because she was looking quite bemused and puzzled. So we went over and had a chat with her too, and again it was a nice encounter. Anyway, upon arrival at East Kilbride, my friend and I noticed that there were no panda cars outside and proceeded across the car park and seen they were parked up around the back. I had my video roll in case we had an encounter, and I spoke to my friend saying if there's any restriction signs or notices that there's only like police etc allowed to be going down there or in that area, that we won't be doing it and we'll keep out, because we do that on the other videos. If there's any restriction signs, we don't go down there or anything like that. But there was no signs or anything saying we couldn't go down there, so in we went, and we were only a couple of minutes. I got about 6 photos and left as soon as I had, in the space of a couple of minutes. As we were leaving, I turned around the corner and we were yelled at by a WPC shouting, "Oi!" I turned round to see 3 or 4 members of staff running at us, and before I could speak they grabbed us and immediately took my phone. One of them asked what the fuck I was doing. "What do you fuck do you think you're doing?" I politely tried to explain what I was doing, and I would blur out any registrations on the images I used, and his reply was, "No, you're not doing anything like that." He proceeded to search me, and then when he'd finished he began marching me back round to the front of the station asking where my ID was, and I explained I did not carry any. Once round the front he asked me my full name, to which I replied, "It's nothing personal, but I would rather not give me details out." There were other 3 PCs that were all encouraging him to bring me back and just arrest me. He then said, "Either give me your name or you'll be arrested," so I gave him my name. I also asked him if he had any body-worn cameras recording, and it seemed to sort of like make him a lot more aggressive, because at which point when I asked him that, he cuffed me and took me back round the back of the station, telling me I was arrested for section 57. You'll have to look that up, guys. Section 57 of Police Scotland. It's slightly different than down here. So anyway, they kept my friend separate and put me in the back of the unmarked Toyota, which was baking hot inside because it was a sunny day and it was very hot on top of it, because we've had some freakishly hot weather lately, and it was a very nice day. That's actually why we went up there, because it was going to be a cracking warm day, and I don't mind doing it when it's nice and warm. So anyway, yep, locked in the back of a Toyota. Then they kept asking me where my car was, and I said, I don't know, I'm not from the area, I don't know, I'll have to show you, like I say, because I didn't know the area. And then PC 634 and PC 569 and another PC that I have yet to identify took it in turns at screaming and swearing at me, telling me I know where my car is. I was terrified at this point, and I thought one of them might hit out at me, but it never happened. They then put the seatbelt on me and closed the door with the windows up, locked the car, and they went inside, and I was cuffed in the car with all the windows up, locked in. It must have only been about 10 minutes, but I began to think they were just going to leave me there and I was not going to make it, as after just a couple of minutes I was covered in sweat and my sleeveless vest was soaking and stuck to me. I was actually in panic mode now, because I knew if they did not come back I would be dead before long, and I was panicking even more because I thought I could not move with the cuffs on and the seatbelt restraining me, so I couldn't even break the window if it came to that. I was also worried that if I had managed to break the window, they would use this as an excuse to charge me for some sort of damage or aggravated whatever it is against me, and began wondering if they had locked me up on purpose for this reason. After 5 minutes they came back out and unlocked the door, opened it, and they panicked a bit when they saw the state of me and quickly got me some water, which obviously points to it being a lack of attention to what they were doing rather than it being malicious. Nevertheless, another 10 minutes and I could have been dead. I was taking fluids in excessively the next day, but upon speaking to my doctor they said it was mild dehydration and that it would pass, just drink lots of water. Anyway, then they got in the car and they tried to get us to Motherwell custody suites, and they refused to take us, assuming they knew we were innocent and we'd got photos from there before, so they were aware of us Motherwell, and they refused to take us. And then they came off their radios, swearing and slating the staff at Motherwell. They continued to look for custody suites that would take us. They then drove us over to Cathcart custody suite to be processed, where I seen my friend in the other car casually talking to two PCs that were dealing with him. Next thing, when the two that were in the car with me left for a few minutes, and one of the other guys from the first car that was speaking to my friend, he came over and proceeded to tell me that he had been into the custody suite and let them know the crack, and that they were a decent lot, also that my friend was okay and they were looking after him. And so into the custody suite, and to my relief and surprise, as soon as I got to the desk they were smiling and asking how I was and asking about my YouTube channel, saying he watches the videos. I was quite gobsmacked, as were the two heinous PCs that were holding me. Just how nice they were, and were engaging me in casual conversation and laughing away with me. Before I went to the cell, they promised me that they would get the process over as quickly as possible, and me and my friend would be waiting for me there when I got out. I was amazed to have my arresting officer let me know I was being charged with the offence, even though I told him what I was doing and why he'd not even bothered to check out the facts. I offered him at that point to show him the photos and the links, etc., so he knew what I was doing basically, but he didn't ask me any questions or nothing. He just arrested me and charged me automatically. Regardless, everything was fine while I was waiting, with a nice chap popping in every 15 minutes or so to ask if I was okay. The other PCs had left by now, and I had my prints taken by a top man named Matthew and a lovely lady who did my photo. Had a good chat with them both and went to the counter to be signed out with 4 members of staff there. One of them apologised and insisted it's the young uns. They run round doing whatever they like, thinking they can get away with it, and they think some of them think they are on some sort of US police drama series. I was told to get in touch with my solicitor as soon as I get home, and if it were them, they would plead innocent and let the sheriff deal with it, because he will not have any nonsense off these police officers that arrested me. They told me to make sure I do a good write-up for Cathcart custody suite and station and raised their arms with a thumbs up, check the custody suite footage, when I said you were the closest so far to winning the Police Station of the Year award. And then they explained about the Police Station of the Year awards I was, and that I'd done a couple already in the last couple of years. I explained about how many subscribers that I've got, and some of the videos reach between 40 and 100,000 views, with some reaching over 500,000 and making it into the papers sometimes. So then I wrote to him and I said, I feel it may be worth speaking to some of the Cathcart staff in confidence and seeing what they have to say. I hope you or someone senior can commend them to the highest degree, as everyone there I encountered was fantastic, genuine, and people I feel I could almost trust with my life. Police Scotland are so very lucky to have members like that among it. They are precious and set standards for all others to follow. Yes, there are PCs that need some serious retraining and keeping a close eye on, which is very true in every force across the globe, and hope you will take time to do the right thing and address this instance and stay on top of the minority who spoil it for the others with this kind of behaviour. I also cannot urge you and recommend enough the use of body-worn videos. It would benefit everyone, including the public, police officers, and help control the actions of those police who are abusing their positions. I have also written to my MP and try to get this matter resolved alongside yourself and get my phone back, as I use it for work. My main aim with this is not to see people lose their jobs or hope to claim compensation, but to make sure this does not happen to anyone else, as it was a bad enough experience for myself, let alone someone less confident, and all because of egos. I would like an apology from all those involved and my phone back as soon as possible. Right, sorry about that guys, we got a bit interrupted there. Someone came in, I had a visitor. I'm not going to start it again and redo it, so you'll just have to have a chopped and changed version of it. So anyway, basically the two officers that had looked after my friend, he said they were absolutely spot on and they were dead nice with him and they kept reassuring him and stuff like that. And basically sort of made it quite clear that they were on our side and they didn't want anything to do with it. And it was a similar story when we got into Cathcart custody suite. I think one of them chaps I was just talking about then had actually gone in and spoke to them all and let them know who we were. So when we came in, they were ready and they were like, hey, how's it going, you alright, are you Matt? And I was like, yeah, why? Oh, we watched your videos, we've seen your video, it's cool. Oh, have you been doing a video up here and things like that? And I was saying, oh yeah, I have done, yeah. And yeah, the fellas that were sort of like arresting us, 634 and 569, their faces dropped as they realised that basically the counter staff were all on our side and they were bigging us up, which was quite amusing because I kept making references to them being the bad guys, and they said, oh, make sure you do us a separate review for Cathcart, you know, as opposed to East Kilbride, because we're a decent lot here. And I thought, blimey, fancy saying that in front of them. He was definitely letting them know that they wanted nothing to do with it and they were totally against it. So yeah, like I say, the faces were dropping and the more we were having a crack and things like that. So they'd processed us anyway and got us out as quick as they could. They basically apologised. They were having a bit of a chat with us once some other coppers had gone and giving us advice and things like that, and one of them high-fived us. I was talking to the CCTV in the custody suite and saying that I'll be getting a copy of it, so I'll just address my audience. And I was talking to you guys on that and they were all smiling, and I said the lot at Cathcart police station are a good bunch, and they were all putting the thumbs up at the camera, so hopefully we'll be able to get that footage. I have requested it, but I've not got it back. I've got a response, but it's not of the CCTV footage. They're having a good old waffle about things not being quite right and there's a case on so we can't supply it, etc. I'll run you through all that anyway so you can have a look at it and make of it what you will and draw your own conclusions. And let me know what you think of it all in the comments and what it means, and maybe even what I should do from there onwards. Right, I'll take you inside and we'll have a look at that response that I got from the Police Scotland data protection. Right, so here it is. I'm not going to read it out to you, I'll let you read it in your own time. I'm going to scroll through it quite quickly, and then if you want to read it properly you can pause the video. Okay, right, so this is the response I got. There's a couple of links there. You'll have to type them in their entirety if you want to have a look at them. It'd be worth looking at though and see what it explains. And there you go. So there's them links. Get yourself having a look at them. Yeah, have a look through that and tell us what you make of it in the comments. Give us a shout and let us know what you think. It's also going to be about, what we're in now, August, September. It's going to be end of September before I actually get my original phone back as well. Again, that's going to be interesting to see if the clowns have tried to get rid of the videos that are on that, which will be recoverable. So we'll see how that goes. I'll let you know and keep you posted when that comes back. Also, if I can find a way of getting this CCTV footage as well, we'll get that uploaded all together. So anyway, that's the basics of what happened up there at East Kilbride. So it's still ongoing, still waiting for my phone to come back. I'm still waiting for this CCTV footage, and then hopefully we'll be able to make a bit of a video about what actually happened. Right, anyway, I'll leave it for there. I'm going to do another midweek upload, so I'll give you another upload in a couple of days. It's HMP Northumbria, where we visited, and we also did a revisit to the COVID site at Carlisle. Again, this is going back about 18 months ago, so they're not like recent videos. The ones from the vault, so keep an eye out for them. And yeah, I'll see you next time.